Talk With Easy podcast, where we focus on building, connecting, and networking. Today, I have a very special guest in the building, Chef B-Nay.
What's up?
How you feeling?
I'm wonderful. I'm blessed.
Okay, good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Foremost, before we get into the sweets bar, I want to touch a little bit on who's operating it. You know, like
Okay.
who's creating these delicious items. You know, so where are you from?
I'm from Richmond.
From Richmond.
Yeah, originally.
Okay. How was the upbringing like? As far as the cooking and stuff like that. Like, what drew you into making these products?
Well, I started real young, easy bake oven for a Christmas gift, and was like super obsessed with it. And then from there, just begging my grandma to show me how to bake. She's the baker in the family, so she did a lot of teaching along the way, and my mom from time to time as well. So I just was in love with it from like literally a child. Just love desserts. Love anything sweet.
Yeah, I think we all kind of experienced a little bit of that. Now, the name, the Sweets Bar, you know, how did that name come about? I mean, I know it's sweets, you know, but the bar part, like, how did that come together?
So I started it in Atlanta, basically. I was there for 7 years.
Wow.
And a lot of the things that were kind of trending around the time were like alcohol-infused desserts. So I kind of tapped into that and was like focusing on like infused cupcakes and different like pound cakes, things like that with the twist with alcohol. So a lot of my desserts can incorporate alcohol, so it's like you're getting a sweet experience and you can get a little lit. So, you know, I would do that from time to time and still to this day. So I offer a couple of treats that still have some alcohol infused elements to it. So yeah, that's for the sweets and the bar.
The bar coming together. Cool, man. That's unique, you know, much
Appreciate
respect.
it.
Now I know you mentioned the family, you know, growing up. Now, was there any type of training or schooling that was involved with this?
For sure. So I kind of was always like focused on baking or basketball. So
I got you.
When I stopped growing, I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna make it to the WNBA. So I shifted to like culinary school right away. I did a couple years in high school, focused in baking and pastry at the Tech Center here, and then from there went to the Art Institute in Atlanta and got my degree in culinary arts. So yeah.
So when did the Sweets Bar start? Like, about what time?
About 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, so it was basically just a side hustle, just a way for me to really start putting my name out there, because Atlanta is a great city for small businesses. And I was like, okay, I make cakes for people. I do cupcakes for people. Let me get this LLC popping.
For sure.
And make this official. So I got the LLC, and then just from there, just started building, get into, you know, smaller events, just doing whatever, just hustling, grinding.
Right, respect.
Yeah, while holding down a full-time job or two.
Much respect.
So
yeah, definitely.
it was a lot.
So how was business at first? Like, what are some of the things you had challenges with that you feel were challenges?
Basically, it was more so just having the time to do everything, because I'm doing the front end of it and the back end of it. So it was a lot of just time consuming work. Just baking is not quick. It takes hours. So I would work sometimes from 7 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning to 5 p.m., 6 p.m. and then come home and bake for another 5 or 6 hours. So it was a lot of just trying to find the time to try to expand my business without wearing myself out early on. So those were the major challenges, just trying to balance what was making me the most money at the time, which was my full-time job, but following my passion, which was building something for myself and for my family.
I can relate to that. I feel like I've dealt with a share of that in my life. So that definitely hit different. Now, for someone else that may have experienced the same type of feeling, what would be some advice to them? You know, they're starting a business, they have to work, they have to balance life. Right. What would be some advice? Just a couple things, you know, you'll lay on them.
For just coming from any perspective of what you find the most important and what you want to invest in is always going to be yourself first, because I spent a lot of time putting all of my energy into someone else's vision, and I really want to push forward like young entrepreneurs, people who are either working in the industry that they want to grow into, to find somebody that can mentor you and try to learn it from them while getting paid. So I stayed working in the baking industry. I worked for 5 or 6 small businesses that were all baking. Wow. A lot of them women owned, a lot of them Black women owned. Wow. And I was learning as I was getting paid. Mm-hmm. So I was taking notes every moment of like being and working my way up the ladder to managing these bakeries so that when it was my time, I knew exactly what roles I wanted to take and not want to take. So if you have a passion in something, try to get paid while learning. That's the easiest way for me to give you like the path towards ownership.
Right.
It's very hard to just kind of, I could have done something totally different, worked in another industry that was going to pay me more, but I wouldn't have been learning. So
right.
I knew where my vision wanted to be.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the times, that's where we can slip up as individuals is not taking notes, right. when it's right in front of us, know. Now, getting ready for an event, like what's that like? Because, me and my old lady, we was introduced to your product at a pop-up shop.
Yeah.
We were doing merch and things like that. But
right.
now what's the vibe like? Like, what's that kitchen like? Like getting ready for something like that?
A lot of the time it's just me just prepping. It's a whole lot of prep throughout the week. Mm-hmm. And then the night before and the morning before, I do all of my baking. Mm-hmm. So it's super fresh because my product is best when it's very, very fresh. So I'm doing a lot of the baking. I have my mom assisting me. So she's amazing with decorating my cinnamon rolls and certain desserts. She's helpful with a lot of the packing and getting ready for the event as well. Mm-hmm. She's very organized. So I get to focus on the more intricate things when it comes to the food. And she helps me pretty much do all the other aspects to get ready for an event. And it's an early morning almost every time. And I'm up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. frying donuts, finishing decorating things and then loading up and heading to an event. So I'm usually high energy anyway in the morning, just on baker's hours.
I'm sure you have
used to being up at 4 a.m. to start baking. So it's not too crazy when I'm doing it for myself. I'm just like, I've done this for other people.
Other people, okay.
So I love events. I'm always excited to get out there and like meet people face to face.
For sure.
See the smile on their face when they try it in front of me. Like it's worth all the hours and hours of me standing for the last 2 days trying to get stuff ready.
Ready.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so what would you say the hardest part is?
The hardest part is just doing almost everything by myself as far as like the business aspect. So like I would love to have financial advising help. I would love to have, business building help, but I do all the research. I rely on like family members who have like a background in some business and knowledge, but overall, like the easy stuff is baking. I can do that with my eyes closed. So that's never difficult.
Never the difficult
The kitchen part is just like, I do podcasts in one ear. I'm listening to this and baking like it's nothing, but it's the business aspect, learning, business plans and markets, how to see my target audience, what to expect with, ingredient costs and labor and all of that. It's a lot, but
it makes a lot of sense. Though,
The business aspect is a lot of work, but it makes it all worth it. It's a balance there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, your favorite part. You spoke on your challenges, but what's like your favorite part of getting ready for that event?
Just once everything is set up and I'm ready to go, and I just see people walk by and their eyes light up. Like, oh, what is this? Like, because they're kind of familiar. They're like, there's something there I've seen maybe before. Then I tell them it's a gourmet cinnamon roll. They're like, what? That's not a very popular dessert or pastry that you see anywhere. You can find cake slices, you can find cupcake spots, you can find cookie, but I do something a little bit different. So when I tell them, and everything that's on top of the cinnamon roll is inside of it too, and their face lights up and they're like, oh, I gotta try that. So many flavors and I don't know which one to go. Like that just brings me so much joy, and seeing kids who are like, I want sweets. I'm like, that was me. I didn't care what I was doing for the rest of the day. I wanted some sweets. So seeing kids run up to the table and point like, oh, what's this? I want to try that. So just interacting with people is amazing. And bringing joy to customers, new and returning. Like that's amazing to me.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, much respect on that.
Appreciate it.
Now, some of your biggest learning experiences as a business owner.
Right.
What would be like maybe just a couple, learning experiences that you can share? Whether it was financially or just the process of getting out there in front of the people.
Right. Yeah. Right now, everything is like build your business credit early. I can tell you that. Build your business credit early. Make it easy on yourself to be able to make large purchases, to grow. Like it's one thing to just kind of see where you want to go and have that vision, but when you put in the smaller steps, the tiny steps of like getting your first business bank account, getting your business credit building up, having a solid business plan, even if it's not fully fleshed out, but those little things are huge in like trying to grow. I'm trying to build a brand. I don't want to have a little bakery somewhere in somebody's city. I want to have a fleet of mobile dessert food trucks.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to see my brand, see my business in major grocery stores, gas stations. I want to be at your major festivals and you see that Sweets Bar sign and you're like, I know they are bigger than Cinnabon. I don't want to be limited. So for me, it's the tiny steps. Those are the obstacles in the beginning, and just get you a strong team. Get you people that have degrees in certain aspects that you don't know about. Like I learned a lot in the kitchen, but I didn't do a whole lot of business. So I'm learning everything on the go. So my advice would be like, get some people that around you that are, knowledgeable, know more than you. Don't be the smartest person on your team. Like get you somebody that's smarter than you and learn from them.
Exactly. I like that.
Yeah.
I've only had a couple of products, but what are like some of your top selling items that you can think of?
For sure, it's our Georgia peach cobbler cinnamon roll.
I think I saw that.
Yeah. It's everyone's favorite. It's our top seller. People love our maple bacon. I don't eat pork, but people tell me they love it, so I keep making it.
Right.
Our cookies are super popular, and then we have the vegan side as well. So we do vegan donuts, and people have no idea they're vegan. They see, but they don't read it. They just kind of see it, and I'm like, it says it's vegan, and they eat it, and they're just like, what? That's vegan? I'm like, yeah, it's and they're like, it's hard to find a delicious vegan dessert. So they're like, okay, I'm coming back to you. Like no matter what, like I need something that's delicious and kind of healthy. It still got sugar in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's still sugar, but those are some popular items we got.
Yeah, no, I'm guilty of the vegan part.
Yeah.
Because I think that was on like the box or something. Like when I think we got it, I'm like vegan, or maybe I was told it was vegan.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this is different for to be vegan. You know. Now, I want to ask you this: is there an inspiration behind these recipes, or are these all from like your creativity?
It's I just because I got my degree in culinary and I worked a lot in restaurants before. It was specifically bakeries. So I kind of meld a lot of different cuisines and flavor profiles. So it's not just like straightforward sweets. I can kind of build on certain things in my background. So a lot of it is just my experience in working in a lot of different food-based, industry and being able to kind of take from certain things. Also seeing what's popular and trending in the industry. So like right now we're kind of trending away from cupcakes and certain things like that. You don't see a lot of cupcake spots popping up, but 15 years ago that was very popular, and those flavors that were on those cupcakes were very popular. Nowadays things are kind of switching. People are kind of doing more nostalgic flavors. So I have some of those, and I can kind of go with the trend of whatever the market is in. So I'm very versatile. So I just kind of go with what I see is popular. Yeah. If something's working, I stick with it. Don't want to mess up the money. And then if it's something's not working, I can switch it just as easily and find something that's going to work long term, because I don't want to bring something on, people love it, and then just disappear. So I'm trying to find like a stable base of flavors and different items that people really love and come back for.
Now, I think that's very important as a business owner to have creativity.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the times, if you're not independent or you work up under somebody else, you don't have that
Right.
leverage. So that's a big addition.
I've been there before.
Right. Yeah. So what's next for Chef Bine and the Sweets Bar? Like, are you expanding in the city, or you like what you looking like for the new year? For going into the new year.
Yeah, for 2023, we're definitely expanding. We're right now in the process of finally securing a food truck. So
Okay.
we're going to be branching outside of just the pop-ups with the tent and the table. We're going to be pulling up, hopefully, with food on the savory side, but more brunch fare, and then dessert. So it's going to be a dessert-based food truck with some brunch items as well. So that's the vision, and if that continues to grow, then more of those, so we can be not just local, but we can bring the desserts to you. So if it's DC, if it's North Carolina, Atlanta, I can make that trip and be able to bring that experience to people, because I'm always getting hit in my inbox. When are you shipping? When are you shipping? Like, my stuff doesn't ship well. It's just, I don't want the product to be compromised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm always scared even just driving it from my house, from the kitchen to the pop-up. Like, I'm just like, it has to look the way I made it, and I don't want it to be messed up. So shipping, just out the question. But me with a food truck, I can get to people that are like, I want to try it, but I don't live in Richmond. I want to try it, but I can't make it. Well, I can make it to a lot more people that way.
Understood.
Yeah.
Chef Bine, I want to thank you for coming through.
Appreciate it.
Shedding the light on your business.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, my pleasure. And now, before we go, I want you to let the people know where they can find you.
For sure.
How can they reach out to you and check you out?
All right. So you can find me on Instagram at Chef Bine's Sweets, ChefBnays SWEETS. So Chef Bine Sweets. We also have a website, BinaysSweetsBar.com. You can pretty much just catch us anywhere. We post constantly on Instagram. You can find us at a lot of pop-ups, a lot of events, especially starting to back up in spring. So yeah, we out here, we working.
Okay. Much respect to you, man.
Appreciate
I wish y'all
you.
the best with your creation in your business.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing big things from you this year.
For sure. We bringing
Chef
it.
Bine, until next time.
That's all right. We'll see you.
All right.
Appreciate it.